Yeah, we're
just watch out on channels.
We'll just watch Channels TV, and we're going to let you know whatever happens, if there's a protest
every part of
or
the
not,
country.
whatever part of the country, you're watching, and definitely we'll give you all of that detail there. But looking at the markets, definitely, crypto market, we're seeing red, at this point from that pullback we saw yesterday. Bitcoin try to get above that 70,000 level, but we saw a lot of sell pressure right there at 69,000, 0.8% for Bitcoin. So it's mostly red sentiment right there in the market. But the pockets of green we have, the likes of Solana, XRP, BNB, TON. We know TON has been in the news a lot lately because of, we see most of these games actually launching, on the TON blockchain, like Hamster, Combat, have different games at this point, and that's bringing a lot of pressure on the TON blockchain. But everyone's still most investors trying to know when games like Hamster Combat, the other games that are launching on TON blockchain, when they're going to actually share most of these coins, because we know when all the participants get into these projects, they want to get some coins back so they can sell once they list. So we'll see what happens with the TON blockchain when Hamster Combat actually lists. But let's look at the sentiment in the market. It's neutral. It was tending towards greed at some point last week, but now we're back to neutral. So investors are still trying to decide whether to go all in at this point or still sell most of the profit at this time. So it's neutral, and that's for the fear greed index. So the way some investors use the fear greed index, when the market is fearful, that's the time they feel like, okay, this is the best time to actually come in to the market. When it's neutral, also seems like a good time because it's not greedy, it's not bearish. But when it gets greedy, some say, you know what, it's time. I think I've overstayed my time in the market. It's time to get out. So that's how most investors use the fear greed index. But let's look at the top cryptocurrencies we track. We see Bitcoin 0.83% down. Ethereum's been in the news lately. $3,308 per coin after the spot Ethereum ETF that launched. Definitely, we saw a lot of outflows. Investors, selling off most of the Ethereum ETFs there, and we see that impacting the price. A drop there, even though there was a time we saw Bitcoin in the green, Bitcoin in red, then we saw Ethereum in the green. So that has flipped. Just like the outflows from Bitcoin ETFs impacts Bitcoin's price, and we see that happening to Ethereum right about now. 0.81%, that's down for Ethereum. But on the flip side, Binance Coin, that's the BNB, that's a native coin for the Binance token, $585.21, 2.03%. That's one of the big gainers of the top 100 cryptocurrencies we track, followed by XRP. See some bullish news on XRP there, pushing it above that 50-cent level. Been used to the 50-cent range for the longest time. Now 3.53%. So that's the biggest gainer with the cryptocurrencies we track on the top 100 coins on the market. All right, let's look at the top stories now in the crypto space. We see Russia, they've legalized Bitcoin for international payments. There was a time I and Ini used to cover Russia a lot there, where Russia actually invaded Ukraine. So we used to track the economic impacts, commodities market, and all of that. I'm sure you still remember that, Ini.
Of course.
We were dreaming talking Russia all day, and now we see that they've actually legalized cryptocurrency for international payments.
But I think Ukraine has done this before now,
right?
Because remember when Ukraine was trying to get donation from different parts of the world, so they did turn to cryptocurrency as a form of, getting donations.
Yeah, with the NFTs.
Yes, while on the other hand, Russia then did restrict the usage of cryptocurrency in their country, especially by indigenes or residents and domestic use, because I think they thought perhaps Ukraine
it's okay for the government to use it, but the citizens cannot use
they couldn't use it. Perhaps they trust their aim more than that of the people, But so now having Russia to actually legalize it for international trade, I don't know, maybe that's just one step higher.
the conversations about the great de-dollarization.
Yes.
We see maybe this might actually be,
One
ushering
step
us into that. But who knows? Who knows when that's going to happen?
Who knows?
Experts say that's many, many years from now before the dollar loses its dominance. But let's bring in Rume at this time. Hello, Rume Ofi. Great to have you.
Hello, Larry.
Yeah, great to have you, Rume. So I know you're always tracking, big news in the markets at this time. And now we're seeing Russia actually legalizing cryptocurrency for international payments at this time. Talk to me about this moment right here.
It's what we have been waiting for now. As its own challenges as well. Advising the government to check that risk, because a lot of things are denominated in the dollar. Currencies if the various countries also in a way stable coins that are based on their currency as in essence other cryptocurrencies, you have to secure their interest as their own sovereign currency will not be affected, because if you just $2, because a couple of persons are dollar to their indigenous currency, like the naira, it becomes a very serious threat to their currency dying every time, and that is not also very good. So in doing all of this, we need to put in mind all of the risks that are involved, and you have to be very, very selfish when it comes to your indigenous currency in terms of using digital assets. So the idea of CBDCs can actually come in, but I would prefer a stable coin that is naira, or maybe a rupee, or maybe cedis, or based on all of that.
All right, and definitely we've been talking about, we've heard conversations about de-dollarization. We've seen that agreement between Saudi Arabia and U.S. We're still talking about that. Are they going to renew it? With that's the petrol dollar deal. But do you think this de-dollarization process is it starting to move fast enough? At this time, or you still see it many years after?
A lot of people talk about de-dollarization, and they make it look like it's going to happen because of the risk and all of those things. I don't think it's going to happen now. I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime, because the dollar is a world reserve currency and is very, very strong right now. In fact, when immediately they talk about de-dollarization, the dollar gets even more stronger. So for now, it's a concept that will happen in the future, but I don't think now is something feasible, Adi.
All right, let's look at the month. This is the final trading day of July. We're heading into August. Tomorrow, what do you see for Bitcoin price action in July? I think it started the month around sub $65,000. So we did see some profit, with Bitcoin in the month of July.
I am not optimistic at all, Adi, because the truth is that you see the BOJ have actually hiked rates. We'll be hearing the Fed chair, that the US Fed chair is going to speak in a few hours from now. So I think that August is not going to be good. In fact, the rest of the year, I don't expect the Fed to cut rates, because a lot of people are anticipating that, and they're making their bets based on that. They are going to be disappointed. I don't see anything good coming up from that. It's going to be some heavy bloodbath, laddie.
So if the US Fed, let's say fast forward to September, they don't cut rates, is that really, really, really bad for Bitcoin, really?
If they don't cut rates, it's going to be bad for Bitcoin. Most especially, they're bringing the question of maybe rates hike, because inflation has been very stubborn and is becoming clear. And riskier assets are at the mercy of the rate that is still very high. So I don't see anything good for that right now for crypto in the short term. But in the long term, fantastic. We'll see Bitcoin doing amazing stuff.
All right, we'll definitely keep watching out. Thank you so much, Rume Ofi. Always great having your perspective.
Always a pleasure, laddie. Always a pleasure.